Welcome back to the CSC Garage. Today we're going to be looking at the RX4 motorcycle and its cooling system. We're going to look at a couple of different components to this system: the reservoir tank, the radiator itself, the cooling fans, and also the gauge for your temperature. So come on, let's get started. Coolant is stored in two places on the RX4. One is the overflow tank, and the access to that cap is really easy, right on top of this right side panel. The other is the radiator itself. There's a cap on the top of the radiator under here. It's a little harder to see, a little harder to get to, but if you were adding your 50/50 pre-diluted coolant, you could use a funnel with a tube on it to access the radiator more easily. The radiator should be full. The overflow tank has a sight window on the side, and you should be somewhere in the middle of that while the engine is cool. So with a cold bike, you've got a full radiator. You should be able to see the coolant on the top of the radiator, but then also you've got about a half a tank in the overflow, and we'll show you a little bit close up. We're also going to remove the side panel just to give the visual reference of where both of those parts are. Now that we have the side panel disassembled and pulled back a little bit, it's easier to see the overflow tank. You still got the cap here on top. You can see the side window just a little better, and you'll notice that there's a maximum line here. So when you're putting in coolant with a cold engine, you would want the fluid to be somewhere under that max line, about in the middle of that window, and you're good to go. And here we have the radiator cap. Same thing with the cold engine. You have to press down and twist to remove the cap, spring loaded. And then just take a visual inspection. You should be able to see coolant just covering the top fins of the radiator. So it should be topped off with the engine at cold temperature. Now that we have our coolant topped off and at the correct level, we want to check the fan on the back of the radiator. That's another component to the cooling system, and we want to make sure that it turns on at somewhere around 87 degrees Celsius. Now we can find that temperature by looking at the dash. You've got a bar system on the dash with the thermometer. Right now we're showing 74 degrees Celsius. We should hear and see the fan come on at approximately 87 degrees Celsius, somewhere thereabout. The temperature will continue to rise a little and then decrease as the fan cools the radiator. Normal operating temperature is around 94 to 95, the mid-90s in Celsius is normal operating temperature. So we got the coolant topped off to the correct level. We let the engine idle until it got around 87 degrees Celsius. The fans did kick on. We verified that the fan is running behind the radiator properly. And you'll notice that this is a normal running temperature. 93 degrees Celsius would fall within the range of normal operating temperature. You'll notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the bars are lit up, not the fifth one, not the top one with hot. If you were to overheat, you would be above 100 degrees Celsius, and also you'd get a warning. This starts flashing, you'll get a warning light, and the thermometer will even turn red to signify that you're overheating. But at this range here, you're in normal operating temperature. Thanks for joining us again here at the CSC Garage. We hope you got some more information about the cooling system of your RX4, and remember, if you need any of the replacement stock parts or some kind of aftermarket parts for your RX4 like the hand guards, be sure to check us out at cscmotorcycles.com, and as always, enjoy the ride.